now we're on Holmes Creek out of Vernon, Florida. As you see, there's people going back and forth. They've been to Cypress Springs, which is the head spring on our creek and the main draw to our community. But I figured I would take you a little bit off the beaten path, give you the Crystal Gainey hometown tour. This happens to be my backyard where I grew up as a kid, and we're gonna go somewhere where them folks don't know. We're headed out to McDonald Springs right now. It's just off of the creek between Cypress Springs and the next landing. And if you do decide you want to actually explore, I mean, Cypress is beautiful and it's fun, but there's so many people down there right now, it ain't somewhere that I'm gonna hang out. So we're gonna explore a little bit that most people will paddle right past and never even know that they missed. There's a couple different pockets actually where the water comes up. This is not a cave-fed spring. This is, there's two different types of springs. There's a steep head spring and then there's a cave-fed spring. Like Cypress Springs is a cave-fed spring where obviously you can see down into the hole. You see that the water's coming out of the spring. Well, out here in these steep head springs, there's what we call pie plates. It's about like this where the water just pulls up through the sand. And if you get out into them, maybe we'll get to one where I can get out and show you a few of the pie plates. If you get out into them, you will sink up to your hips and not even realize it. But I think I need the help real quick. Hang on. There we go. Got her locked. This actually was a lot more open and a lot easier to get into up until the hurricane this past year, which obviously a lot of our lives have been a lot harder since then. But this is a really beautiful place and I like to come back here and just chill. It's easier to get into with a kayak or a canoe also. Let's spin our ass in. There we go. Now turn around and look. It's done snuck up on you and opened up out here. There's some big fish. I do fish in these little springs a good bit, kind of like fishing the back sloughs on the river. But out here, I catch a lot of small ones. The big fish use them like nurseries. It's a good, safe place to come in here and have their babies. So I see a lot of little bitty bass in here, a lot of little brim. I like to come in here fishing for bait if I'm looking for live bait, because I can usually tear up the little 3-4 finger brim. That's the Crystal Gainey Home Creek tour. We're going to ride you a little ways this way and see what we can see, and then we're going to turn around, we're going to ride a little ways that way and see what we can see, and then we're probably going to have to get off and pull a little bit, and there's going to be mud involved. Welcome to my home. The closer you get to the springs, the more consistent you'll see the change in water. When you get to the confluence, which is where the dark water meets the clear water, it will be a perfect line. Like you will literally see crystal clear water runs into the dark water. It's called the confluence. We're headed now to Cypress Springs. We're gonna see how many people's here. I guarantee you it'll be a bunch. I'll have a good old time right here in Washington County, Florida. When you grow up somewhere on the water like this, when they say water is life, that is meant in the truest form. I mean, not only can you not live without water, but if you grow up on the water, your life revolves around it, you know. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise never comes so true unless you grew up on it. So this kind of, the waterways where you're at makes you. We're gonna be going down here into the Cypress Spring Run now. There's some pretty good fishing right here outside the spring run. I myself personally like to fish here. And I like to come down into the spring. I catch a lot of shell crackers down the run. Right here, once you get off of the mainstream, you come into this run, you'll catch a lot of shell crackers and stump knockers. I think they get so used to the Doritos at the springs, they come in here hungry already, so pretty good fishing. I can catch a bucket full of bait down here waiting on my kids to swim. A lot of this is still new down trees from the hurricane. And some of them, even though they have just now fell a couple months later, it's a direct result of the hurricane. Just because they didn't blow down right then, it's what uprooted them, you know, it weakened that one side, and then once the next 2 or 3 in front of it blew down in the next storm, or we had a good flood that brought the water up pretty good amount. So once it floods like that, every year it changes. And if it gets weak in the hurricane, it's not gonna last through the flood season.
Oh, I died.
All right, y'all, even the sun shines brighter at Cypress Springs. Am I going too fast for you? Are you getting all the garbage on the bottom? Look, don't trash where you splash, people. This is ridiculous. Put it in your boat, take it to the boat ramp. I don't care if you mound it up on them garbage cans. Somebody will come pick it up there. They ain't gonna get it out here. That's being for real with folks. That's one thing I hate. Me and my kids actually do. We come down here and pick this up and we'll swim the spring run.
We're here to commandeer that vessel.
Yeah, good luck trying. Just tell your mama she'll find your body under the bridge. I'm just a friendly kind of person, what can I say? There's two things you won't get, my dog and my boat. That's only one of them. All right, y'all. Y'all see all these folks down here? You just know I'm only bringing you here on the weekend. I'm not bringing myself here on the weekend. As far as myself, we're going back to one of them other springs. Holy moly. I think they're backing in. Are y'all backing in there? I'm gonna go around. You just along for the, me too, I'm just along for the ride. Where are you guys from? Mobile, Alabama, sweet home, Alabama. So, did y'all come down here just particularly to see the springs, or y'all just for Cypress? Is this the only spring that y'all are gonna see on the creek, or have y'all heard of any more?
We haven't heard of any more.
You see there? Just so you know, there's 3 more springs between here and the park down there. I don't know if you guys are coming in and out at Culpeper Landing. There's another set of springs out just before you get to Culpeper. There's that big white clay hill. It's a little rough getting back in there, but we just went in there on this, so I know you can go on that. Yeah, y'all go check it out. It's called McDonald Springs. It's a little, and that's what we're doing here is I'm giving them the hometown tour, the backwoods. You guys come and see this, but that's everything you miss on the way down that you don't necessarily know. You know, about 86 million gallons of water a day pumps out of that hole right there. Talk about pressure. That's why she said, well, maybe we can float here. So there's no floating right here on this. You gotta, that's a lot of water pushing up. It's beautiful though. Welcome to Cypress Springs, you guys. This right here is any given Saturday and Sunday at Cypress Springs. Yeah, it gets crowded, but it's not that bad. It's actually a lot of fun. As you can tell, everybody seems to be getting along very, very well. You know, nobody's fussing and fighting. Everybody's just kind of hanging out and cooling off and enjoying what God's given us. Even Lindsay. As you can see, everybody's having a good time down there at Cypress Springs. It's always a good place to cool off for the weekend, but it's a little too popular for me. We're gonna go down here and see what we can't find off the beaten path.
What does the creek mean to me? It means happiness, it means home, it means family time, it means being closer with nature. The creek is just like, it's God's country. This is just a happy place. This is where people can have fun, they can let loose, they can do whatever.
Hello there, Archie Mitchell. What are you doing today? All right, I gotta go take these ladies to see something they ain't seen before. I'm a busy woman, son. I'm a busy gal. I love this town. I love my people here. Every one of them. Now, I gotta get out of the mix of all these folks and get back down to my end of the creek where they ain't so many folks got it stirred up. was dubbed Mouth of the South by this little town right here about, I don't know, 30 years ago. I still get called Mouth of the South. This is Culpeper Landing from the waterways. This is going to be your nearest access point to Cypress Springs if you have a motorboat or anything other than a kayak or canoe, paddleboard. This next part of the creek, we're going to actually go and we're going to see two different areas. We're going to see it from the front and from the back view. We're going to go around and see Gainey Springs, which is another magnitude 2 spring. It's half the size of Cypress, where Cypress is about 86 million gallons a day. Gainey is about 40 million gallons a day water pumps out of it. There's no cave below it. It's one giant steep head spring, which means it pumps up through the sand, but it's a pretty good fishing hole. And it's right along the way, and most people never even see it. They never realize that they paddle right past it and don't even know what they've been through. This is the Snaggy Bend, where my dad got the name for his canoe shop, because he obviously owns the property on the Snaggy Bend. This is his behind me. It's been in my family for over 200 years. My great-grandparents, my great-grandfather's family and my great-grandmother's family both settled right here on the creek side by side. They were next door neighbors and they wound up getting married, so pretty fortunate for us. Thank you. Look, these people are nice. I used to bring my bicycle, me and my brother, and we'd come down that hill just as fast as we could, and we'd never stop until we hit the water. We tied pool noodles to it in a rope so we could pull it back up. Yep, that's where I grew up. The spring that we're fixing to go to now, it does end up on private property, so we're just going to say it's an undisclosed location off of Holmes Creek. But it's a pretty special one to me. It's named after my great-grandmother's family. It's called Clemmons Springs. My grandparents settled here. Well, my great-grandparents' parents settled here and happened to be next-door neighbors. And when they married, this all wound up in my family. But my cousin owns it now. He owns the house on it, obviously don't own the spring, but we're gonna sneak up in there and show you just a little bit of my history, a little bit of what ties me to this area, where my roots come from. Look at that soft-shell turtle. That's dinner. Yes, I do like soft-shell turtle. I'll teach you how to clean one day. No, that one ain't quite big enough. You are allowed to eat them. Soft-shell turtle, there's a season, there's a limit, two limit. So yes, ma'am, they are legal to eat. There is a season. No, not right now. But there is a soft-shell turtle season. And the best time to go try to find soft-shell turtles, if you ain't just catching them, if you're picking them up, is when it's hot and right after a rain. That's a whole lot of motor for a little bit of creek. All right, y'all, we're out here at Clemmons Springs off of Holmes Creek, an undisclosed location that many of you have probably paddled right past and never knew about. It has a little special meaning to me because it's named after the Clemmons, which is the original settlers here. It happens to be my family. Most people don't know that it's here. Those who know it's here probably still haven't been back here, but those of us who have love it. This is the actual spring. It's Steephead Springs, so it's bubbling up down. Little tiny sand. Yep, you see them, what it looks like down bottom. You see them little white spots. All of that is water bubbling now. There's more back there. There's more of a head to it back there.
If you look right down in there, inside the little white parts, the sandy part, it almost looks like one of those anteater bugs, doodle bug, that you can see the sand pushing up out of it. There's no hole, but there's the white sand and you can see it pushing up out. The middle of nowhere is all we know, I guess, that this is the middle of nowhere. To us, this is everywhere. This is everything. I think that people that live in the city kind of live in the middle of nowhere. This is it. This is everything right here. Peaceful, relaxing.
What? 2Egg TV.
2Egg TV.
It's a travel channel.
2Egg TV. It's a travel channel on Roku.
Look up Antlered Doe Outdoors on Facebook. Hello, how are y'all?
2Egg TV. You just got to watch all the videos to get to the good part.
Hey, they're gonna watch every 2-egg video they can find just to try and find the good part. I love it. For more information, visit 2eggflorida.com. I'm Crystal Gainey with 2Egg TV, signing out.